Ah, the green grass of home. Well, actually, it is the red sand of home. Welcome to the Kalahari, guys. Let's go and explore. Welcome everyone to a place that is part of my DNA. This used to be the farm of my late grandfather here in the Kalahari, close to the town Deben. It now belongs to my uncle. And I used to come here many school holidays. Lots of memories here in the Kalahari. This is going to be another one of those emotional vlogs where I take you on a bit of a personal journey. I remember the excitement I had as a little boy when we started packing the car for the long trip up north to the Kalahari farm. Driving from places such as Lambert's Bay or Gansbaai. When I was at university, during university holidays, I would also visit the farm on weekends because I worked on an iron ore mine. So it's fair to say that I made a fair few footprints here in the red sand over so many years. And it's wonderful to be back here. It really is a trip down memory lane. It is very dry and it's very hot in the summers. Temperatures can certainly reach the big 40, and I'm talking Celsius, not Fahrenheit. This is either the farmer's biggest frustration or the biggest joy in the Kalahari, the rain meter. When the farmers, when they see they got say 20 or 30 millimeters out of us, they would jump for joy or they would dance with a rain meter, probably more so than with their own wives. However, if it's empty, it's frustration all over again. Make no mistake, water is a scarce and precious commodity in this part of the world. A lot of the flora, a lot of the trees in this part of the world only exist because they've got deep root systems. Here you have two beautiful camel-thorn trees next to each other. The camel-thorn is undoubtedly the iconic tree of the Kalahari. These trees, they live 300-400 years, and their roots actually can go down about 80 meters underground. So can you imagine just the power, the strength of this tree? And yet you do see some holes in some of the branches there, and I think that's the woodpecker. It is well adapted to the arid environment and provides essential shade, food and habitat for the wildlife. Even this relatively young camel-thorn tree provides some shade for the donkeys here. Yeah, there you can see some of the sharp thorns on this particular tree. It acts as a bit of a defense mechanism against the herbivores. And yes, this young camel-thorn tree still has a way to go. They'll provide a lot of shade, a lot of vegetation. And next to it is a dead camel-thorn tree, reminding us of a circle of life. Yes, the dead camel-thorn tree might not provide a lot of shade or vegetation, but the aesthetic value that they add is unmatched. Here you can see the power of lightning in the Kalahari. Look what the lightning did to this tree. And this is also why you will get several dry pieces of wood in the Kalahari. The camel-thorn wood is also some of the best, if not the best, wood you can get for a braai, for a barbecue. Because it lasts a long time. The fire is such an integral part of a South African lifestyle, of the Afrikaner lifestyle. We love to sit around a fire, and it's not just the food, it's the experience of socializing around a fire. I've been told that on my family farm here there's about 3,000 tons of camel-thorn wood. In this area there's only about 5 tons. You won't run out of wood in the Kalahari. That's the one thing you don't have to worry about. Yes, water may be scarce, but at least you'll always have fire. So you can actually have a world's biggest braai if you want.
Kalahari scalp chop.
Wow, look at this typical lamb chops here in the Kalahari. It might be 40 degrees outside, but we're still gonna enjoy a wonderful braai. Ah, here we go. Just look at the nice color there. Beautiful. South African culinary excellence. A true South African experience. And here's a peel of a camel-thorn tree that I picked up earlier to show you. The trees, they can reproduce through seed dispersal. There are seeds inside this peel or the pod. If animals eat and excrete the seeds in a different location, it might result in a new tree. The camel-thorn tree is undoubtedly the main tree of the Kalahari, the most well-known. But another absolutely iconic one is the water-scarce. In English it translates to wait a bit, the wait a bit tree. I understand the proper English name for this tree is the buffalo thorn tree. But the Afrikaans water-scarce is much more descriptive and much more fun, to be honest. The water-scarce tree or the wait a bit tree, so named because if one of its thorns snag your clothing or even your flesh, you're gonna have to wait a bit to untangle yourself. You just have to wait a bit. You just have to water-scarce. The tree also produces some small sweet fruits that animals eat to help support this tree because it is getting on a bit. My uncle introduced some steel beams there for reinforcement, and over there as well. And the third and final tree that I'll point out, also a key species in the region, is the shepherd's tree, or in Afrikaans, the witgat, the white bottoms tree. Yes, in Afrikaans it's called the witgat tree, roughly translating to the white bottom tree because of the color of its bark. Unlike the camel-thorn and the water-scarce tree, the witgat does not have any thorns, but it does provide some much needed food for animals in the region. And in fact, one of the iconic stories on the farm here is that during a particular drought, one of the farm workers were carrying branches of a witgat that still had a little bit of leaves on it, and the farm animals literally followed that farm worker trying to access the leaves. And believe it or not, but during the Anglo-Boer War, people actually made coffee from the root of a witgat tree. Let's be honest, the morning brew probably didn't taste very nice. But sometimes in the Kalahari, you gotta do what you gotta do. So there you go, 3 iconic trees of the Kalahari that play a critical ecological role in the semi-desert landscape. I'll show you more footage of the farm in due course, but let me first take you to Deben, the town close to the farm. Just to give you some perspective, you've got Cape Town over here, Kimberley over there, and Deben, also known as Dibeng, is over there. So you can see just how far from the Cape we are. Here we are approaching the town. Welcome to Deben. Right, here we are in Deben town. In 2011 it had approximately 7,800 people, and approximately 1,500 years ago the Khoi and the San started to inhabit the region around Deben. The Tswana came here around 500 years ago, and missionaries started to arrive in the early 19th century around 1801, and nomadic farmers around the 1840s. Here we have a Dutch Reformed church in Deben. The congregation was founded on the 15th of May 1909 in the humble abode of a certain Jan and Sunny de Villiers. And on the 17th of November 1914, Deben was proclaimed as a town. Streets started to be laid out and plots were measured for sale. Right, let's go and check out the church. It's open here. Okay, there's another lock there. So security pretty tight here at the Deben church, but we can still go in. Check that out. More of a garden here at the church. Remember that the Northern Cape, the Kalahari, it's a very dry part of South Africa. Not a lot of water here in the Kalahari, but they obviously have to work with what they've got. And there's a little bit of a green space here in the town, here in the church garden. All right, let's go inside here. They opened up for us. Hello, Yella. Hello. Wow, here we go. Consistory over there. Give a shot, yeah. There you go, the actual first stone church on Deben there, the 27th of October 1917. And here we go, some of the ministers, I don't know if it's all of them over the years that are listed here. Pictures of all the church councils as well. Yeah, beautiful consistory here. Deben Dutch Reformed Church. And here we go inside the church. By the way, I didn't mention it outside, but the De Villiers who founded the original congregation, I believe that's my family. Also my grandparents used to belong to this congregation. Some of my cousins were baptized here. Die Here is my herder. The Lord is my shepherd. We've got beautiful flowers here as well, and obviously an upper area there, the gallery. Very beautiful church for a small town. And this is the view the minister will have of a church. I wonder how many prayers have been prayed in this building. And the prayers almost certainly involve praying for rain, because it's such a dry part of South Africa. Praying that there would be no drought, that there would be enough food on the tables. Thank you very much to Deben Dutch Reformed Church. This was an absolute privilege. Deben means first drinking place. It used to be an important watering point for animals and travellers travelling in the region here. Deben is also known as the sunflower town, not because of the flowers, but because of the wind pumps that look like flowers. Look at the top part there. Almost every property here in Deben comes with its own wind pump, since residents have to provide their own water. This wind pump feeds water into that dam over there. And here in the Kalahari, your dam is also your swimming pool. Look there, there's some tubes on the water, presumably for the kids to have a bit of a splash around. Deben a very rural feel to it. If I don't get held prisoner by a camel-thorn tree or a wagga-bietjie boom, I want to show you some of the local residents. Some of the sheep here in the Kalahari. A very rural feel that you get when you walk here in the town. I have a question for you. Can you see the Gamagara river that runs through Deben? You should be able to see it here. Well, you won't, because it is a dry river. You can certainly see some more wind pumps here in the skyline of Deben. They are the skyscrapers of a town, so to speak. Just spotted a house here that I instinctively like. It's built from wood. Look at the beautiful garden here. All the succulents over there. And some of the ornaments. Here you can see another wind pump. And here you can see a beautiful greenish wall here in the town. So a little bit of colour here amongst the sandy roads of Deben town. More of Deben town here, and you can see some of the local passengers here on the back of this bakkie. Hello guys, dag sê. Here we've got the coöperasie, the cooperation in Deben. And yes, we've got some noisy residents. In most farming towns you'll get a cooperation, and it's a very important place to serve a community. Here you got the old traditional style post boxes here in Deben. Hello julle. On a personal level, I wonder how many letters my grandparents posted me from this post office, and how many letters I posted back to them here in the farming country of the Kalahari, and they would come and collect it here at one of the post boxes. Let's walk up here and I'll show you more of the town. To be honest, it is very small. You can see here poles, big business in this part of the world, because it's farming country. Wooden poles. Yoch, I can smell the tar here from the sidewalk, from the pavement. What is that? Deben Satellite Office. Building a caring society, so social development. And yes, you've got the church over there. And you've also got the liquor store here, Dorsland Drankwinkel. So the Kalahari, a place of first. Deben, the first drinking place. And the Dorsland, people are often very, very thirsty in the Kalahari. And here you've got the shop, Die Blauwe Winkel. I guess it's a bit of a strange vibe here in Deben because it feels more industrial than commercial. But maybe that is not surprising because it is a farming town. And a lot of people actually go to Kathu, which is less than 30 kilometers in that direction, for their entertainment. Or if they want to play some sports, go and play some golf. In fact, let me show you what the Kathu Golf Club looks like, which is where a lot of people from Deben would go and play. Here goes. If the people of Deben want to play some golf, they come here to Kathu. And it's got the 9th best golf course in South Africa. Lots of camel-thorn trees in Kathu. In fact, it's renowned for it. And the name Kathu roughly translates to town under the trees. The mine's still a pretty big sponsor at this country club. Golf in Landgoed. And yes, it's iron ore country. So you can see a piece of iron ore as a statue here, honoring the mining industry in this part of the world. And here we're entering the golf course. Wow, just look at this. Yes, welcome. Just to give you a shot here of a magnificent course. What a wonderful setting. And if you're lucky, you can even spot a meerkat. Now they even have some braai areas here underneath the camel-thorn trees. And yeah, the water on the course here, that is special as well. Water in the Kalahari is pretty scarce, so to see it, it's always a nice shot. Right, we were in Kathu and now we're back in Deben. There's a strong farming community here around Deben, but also many people work in the mining industry. Of course, Sishen iron ore mine and other mines are in the region, and the famous Sishen Saldanha railway line starts there. Here we've got Doringdraad, a Kalahari style restaurant. Here you can see the Kalahari Ferrari, the donkey car, the donkey cart, Bikkie vroom vroom. And over here, do you still remember, onthou jy nog, the card phones? Yep, they pretty much phased out in South Africa. And maybe a coin one on this side. Yes, there we go, the old coin phone. Classic. The sunflower town represented here as well, the old wind pump. And you got the chickens. And some classic Afrikaans sayings here. Plaasjapies, ma se kos, vellies. Check here, vergete grootpad. So the forgotten big road. And those were love locks that people have put up here. There's some hearts. Yeah, looks like it. Let's just pick out Rian and Jess. Some random love locks there, immortalizing their love forever. And yeah, lots of interesting stuff here. Look at this bucket here with old bottle caps. Yeah, diesel, also a precious commodity here in the Kalahari. Authentic Kalahari, authentic Kalahari. And some colourful animals here as well. Yeah, actually, this is a very useful reference for where we are. You can see we've got Deben over there. You've got Kathu, bigger town in the region there. And these are some of the places I've also shown you in some of my previous vlogs. You've got Victoria West, you've got Loxton, you've got Sutherland, Maatjiesfontein. There you go. Just to give you a bit of perspective of where we are in South Africa. Right, we're going inside Doringdraad, and I'm very privileged that they've opened up for me, because they're not open today. But they opened up especially for me, and I thank them very much for that. You can see there's a reference, Doringdraad and Deben, eerste drinkplek. The first drinking place. I love all these rooster art here. You can see there, rooster cook. Lots of various photos and frames. The donkey, a central figure here in Deben. Check out this heart here in the frame from old brandy caps. So I guess they love brandy very much. You've got a reference there to Moer Lekker Coffee, the Moer Coffee. Very popular brew in this part of the world. Yeah, here's the bar area. Deben as a place of first. Well, I'm sure you'll know where to come. Love the red chairs. Let's go to the outside area. This is where the magic happens, where people braai and they dance and they laugh. A classic Kalahari braai over here. I love all these old cups and plates. It adds a rustic touch to this Kalahari place. And yeah, there you go. Some animals attending the braai as well over here. The rand is essentially in a lot of trouble. They say you should invest in Mampur. Yeah, the translation doesn't work so well in English. Doesn't have the same touch of humor, but look at this. Various horns of some of the animals of a Kalahari. Look at that. You party together with people and you become friends, and certain friends become family. Here's more braai areas as well, and look there, they even brought Oma's kitchen here to the back. Look at the old cupboards here. Old engines, and look at that, suitcases and ovens. It really is a treasure trove of stuff here at this iconic Kalahari place here in Deben. Iconic Kalahari institution. Look at the whole bicycle here, trapped there in the tree. And check this out here at the back. This is where they prepare the food. The rooster cook and the vet cook and various other culinary delights that the Kalahari is known for. Look at this. I can already smell the rooster cook. Right, let's go to the stage. I'm not going to need a bicycle for that journey, but I could, if I needed to, pick one up here. Let's check out the area here. Oh yes, this is where the magic would happen. You don't get more farm than this. Look at all the old petrol drums or oil drums that they've used here at the bar. Here you go, wow. More wind pumps, and check out this. An old school desk. You got an old petrol pump, and just look at these chairs here. How wonderful is this? An old spade. And some more noisy residents here. Yeah, they've even got some of the street names of Deben listed here. Kort Street, Long Street or Long Street. Many of the streets here are named after animals. You can see there Gemsbok and Springbok, the iconic bucks of a Kalahari. And yeah, more oil drums or petrol drums here, used in this case to keep these guys safe. Hello, how are you? Hoe gaan het met julle? Dankie dat julle vir my doringdraad wys. Yes, what a wonderful experience this is. Look at the dam here that they built for the geese. Yes, a pretty unique concept for a place of leisure, a restaurant and a pub. I think they can really give themselves a big pat on the shoulder. What they've done here is absolutely fantastic. A place here for the VIPs to hang out, and there's the stage. You can see there the Oplaas dammetjie, but they filled it with cement, the farm dam. It's a big stage where many people come to perform, many South African celebrities. So yes, bring your velskoene, bring your toothbrush, bring your SPF 50. You're gonna need that. But once you're here, I'm sure you're gonna have a unique cultural experience in the Kalahari.
Dis Linda en Jack, hulle is nou 'n koppel.
Okay.
En daai is lieflik. Daai haar ma's doodgery hier voor die petrolstasies in Deben.
Wow.
En
Kom,
en toe het ons haar gekry met titiebottel groot gemaak. Boom.
Ah, sy.
Dit is nog mooi tande hoor.
Hy het mooi tande. O, liefling.
Baie mooi donkies hierdie hoor. Dankie dat julle my doringdraad gewys het julle. Ek waardeer dit. Julle moet 'n lekker dag hê hoor. Mooi gaan. Yes, maybe I am biased. Yes, I've got an emotional connection to the Kalahari, but I think you will struggle to beat this. as an experience. There are so many people who also visit South Africa and they go to Cape Town and Kruger National Park, but they wouldn't necessarily have a Kalahari as part of their itinerary. I'll tell you what, there are some absolutely brilliant experiences in this part of the world. Yes, we are here at the Kalahari Velskoene, the factory. Lots of farmers here. You got the windpomp in the region, but you also have lots of miners, people who work in Sishen, Kathu, in the mines, the iron ore mines. Here you go, look at that. Deben is the sunflower town. The windmill featuring prominently even in the shop here. You can see all the belts. There you go, various prices. And that's what they look like, and they all got Kalahari listed there. Kalahari Ferrari established 1988. Various types of shoes as well. And you even got the black ones. Rek boot. 1,290 Rand, 2 to 12, and then 12.5 to 15. Presumably that's the size and not the age. You got 1,440. Omslagskoen. Ranging from 990 to 1140. As die skoen jou pas, trek hom aan. If a shoe fits, wear it. I say, classic and quality leather products. Check it, they even have fly swatters here, Kalahari. Fly, stay away from our beautiful Kalahari. And what is this? Some gift packs as well. So for Christmas, so come and buy some stuff here. You can see they're 190 Rand for this gift pack. Ah yes, we even have some Black Friday specials here. 850 Rand, looks like one price for all of them there. Here we are at the Ben's Cemetery, Kalahari Cemetery, and loads of people who have contributed to society, to the community here. You'll see a lot of surnames here. There's Coetzee, de Klerk, there's Van Sail, Harmse, there's a Kroukamp, you have Reder and Scholz, Legransie. Just thinking about their contribution to this part of the world and all the memories that their loved ones will have. And I have to say, this cemetery here is still kept in very good condition. People still look after the cemetery by the looks of it, and I'm very glad to see that. The camelthorn trees and other big trees of the Kalahari, like the witgat and the waggebekkie. You can spot some of them here in this cemetery as well. And of course the red sand of a Kalahari. Very, very special. Alright, that was the Deben town. Let's head back to the farm in that direction. After the Anglo-Boer War, the government at the time put a lot of land on the market to sell to people who didn't have land before. My family bought this particular farm in 1903. There is my grandmother. She was one of 12 kids. There's a picture of my grandmother and my grandfather over there. I was also named after him. His name was also Willie. Ah yes, the old stove here, the old oven in the kitchen. So many memories here. This was a staple in farm homes. The wood goes in there, and there was your old oven where the food was prepared. And obviously on top here, that's where the coffee and the millipap would often find themselves. I remember my grandmother making us some food here, some millipap. Absolutely precious memories. The potjie kos and the coffee, moerkoffie. Yeah, there's a wind pump without its wings, so to speak, at the moment. There's a water tank. And over here, another structure of historic importance on the farm, the cooler. When I visited the farm as a young boy, there were no refrigerators on the farm. And I'm not talking Anglo-Boer War times. I'm talking late 1980s, early 1990s. But they had the cooler. The concept is relatively straightforward. You've got the roof area, which you can water with a hose. and the water will then trickle down the structure and against the bricks and inside the holes there. If a wind blows against it, it has a cooling effect, meaning the produce inside the structure will stay fresh. Yes, the old cooler no longer in operation because there are refrigerators on the farm now. Here you can see the wings of a windmill, so to speak, and the old ladder that was against the cooler for some time. Next to the wind pump, the windmill, you have a farm dam, and I would swim for many hours as a kid in here, trying to cool down in the harsh Kalahari. Yeah, this is the donkey. You can see there we got some firewood and we've got some fuel in there in the form of a pizza box. But what this structure does is it helps you to have warm water on the farm. So you'd make a fire inside, and there's an old cocoa pan in here that helps to heat the water. I certainly remember these metal chairs and tables from my childhood. They are painted a different color today, but look at this. They still kept that for the glass, for the beer or the cool drink. There's a little vineyard. Now you might ask yourself, grapes in this weather? That is a very good observation. That's a very good question. Quite unique to see some grapes in this part of the Kalahari. Of course, if you go to places like Uppington, which is in the green Kalahari, grapes are quite common there, and in fact that's a major wine producing area of South Africa next to the Orange River. But over here a different water solution had to be implemented. There's no Orange River in this part of the Kalahari, so you can see there my uncle, he would water this maybe twice a week, in summer perhaps 3 times a week. Yes, the good old hose pipe here in the Kalahari. If you're interested in societal dynamics and romantic relationships, you're gonna love this. In the tree here you've got the male finch trying to build a nest for him and his female companion. The male finch have got bright yellow feathers. I don't know if you can see them. Some of them have got twigs in their mouths and they're building nests. This architectural masterpiece of a Kalahari. However, the female building inspector, so to speak, will soon come and inspect some of these nests. And if a nest is not up to her standard, even if a single twig is out of place, the female bird will tear the nest apart twig by twig. 3-4 days worth of work all done, and the male finch will have to start all over again. So good luck, my male companions, in your quest for architectural mastery. Check this out. A classic farm saying, solank die bil en die windpomp op die plaas werk, is die saak reg. So the bull and the wind pump, as long as there's reproduction and water, everything is hunky-dory. And here you've got the horns of the 3 main type of game you get in this part of the world. The kudu, and the oryx, the gemsbok, and the springbok over there. Now this kudu, male kudu statue, was not here when I grew up. This is a relatively new addition, but I know my uncle put it here to resemble the male kudu in the wild. And when you go hunting, the male kudu often hides in the trees like this. Nature works in surprising and fantastic ways sometimes. The male kudu has learned over time that the hunter is primarily interested in him, not the female kudus. So what he will do is he will often push out the female kudus from the trees, exposing them to the hunter. But the experienced hunter knows that the male kudu is actually hiding and will come out soon. Here we have some cattle, the Bons Mara breed to be more specific, and they are resting here in the shade of a camel-thorn tree. Why not? It's another scorching 30+ day here in the Kalahari, and you got the water-scarce tree, the camel-thorn tree, and the witgat tree. So much natural beauty, and look at all the old trees who no longer provide peels, but they did their bit. In the Kalahari you want your dams to be full but you don't want them to overflow. There's a fine balance. Water is scarce in this part of the world, but yeah, as a farmer you will have a balancing act here, and it's often millimeters at stake. Here we have entrance to a game area on the farm. You can see there, this is a typical entrance. You got the kudu horns and the gemsbok or the oryx horns. If it is decorated in this manner, you know most likely you are entering an area with game. And I've spotted some gemsbok, some oryx in its natural habitat, the Kalahari. Now, I don't want to scare them away. I want to get you a nice shot. I'm afraid if I get too close they'll just start running. There you go, there they start running. They've spotted me. I guess my bright red top doesn't necessarily lend me to a camouflaged figure, but there you can see them running over there as well. The gemsbok, one of the animals synonymous with a Kalahari. Here we go, the relatively fresh footprint of a male eland, the eland. It's probably about a day old. Let me know in the comments. For all your footprint collectors out there, here is a fresh footprint of Willie exploring the Kalahari. Here you can see one of the best friends of any farmer in the Kalahari, a salt slab. This will provide the eland, the springbok, the oryx and the kudu, the main game of a Kalahari, with enough salt. You don't need any other feed in terms of salt for your animals. Obviously they'll need other nutrients, but for their salt intake that's enough. And just look again, the beautiful landscape here. The old tree and the new tree, old life and new life. And hopefully this particular salt block or salt slab would be enough for many animals to give them a good life. If you ever wondered what an aardvark or an aardvark hole looks like, there you go. Look at the size. Also, look at the amount of sand that they dug out in order to build themselves a home. Oh yes, there you go. The magic of animals in the Kalahari. And every nest will tell its own story. Every hole would have a purpose. Yes, as a child I also remember holes such as these in the Kalahari, and my grandparents always told me not to stick my hand or my foot in one of them. These particular ones were made by meerkats, and I think the meerkat colony has moved away from here, which means that there is at least a 90% chance of finding a snake in there. So that's why my grandparents warned me against these holes. There are certainly some other types of holes as well, such as aardvark holes, and also a hole that people used to historically do their business. So let's go check it out. The hole I'm going to show you here is the long drop, the old long drop. Now certainly when I was a boy and we visited the farm, people did not use this toilet anymore. But back in the day, people did use it. And you need to be very careful because there might be snakes. Many people in places such as Deben and other towns in the Northern Cape, they work in farming and or mining. My family worked as farmers and as miners here in the Northern Cape. There are loads of iron ore mines in the region. Places such as Sishen and Beeshoek. And Beeshoek in particular provided a lot of employment for my family. Yes, my family worked at Beeshoek and they played rugby for Ammosal. Look at that. There's my grandfather. He played prop. There's one of my uncles. And there you go. There's the legend, Mr. Jumbo Harris, who was the mine manager. My grandmother also worked on the mine. She played netball for Ammosal and also for Griqualand West. The netball team there, she was the captain of the A team. The mining industry is such an important part of my DNA as well. I also worked on a mine during university holidays. You know what? In my family there's just too many good stories about Beeshoek Mine, Jumbo Harris and Ammosal Rugby to ignore. I'm going to have to go to Beeshoek and show you more, so let's go. Here you go, Colonel Jumbo Harris. You can see there, in memory of him, founder of the Ammosal Rugby Club. And here we are, the Jumbo Harris field in Beeshoek. Here an example of a cocoa pan here at the legendary Ammosal Rugby Field, or what's left of it. Look at this, many Springboks here, Piet Visagie, Jochie Viljoen, Piet van Deventer. Probably the first professional club in South Africa, so people were literally bought, so to speak. Many rugby players were lured to the mine and they would be employed. Yeah, they've kept the one post on the side of the field. I wonder how many points the legendary Springbok fly-off Piet Visagie scored for Ammosal here. Here you go, that's the sign there, the Ammosal Rugby sign. Over there you have Jumbo's corner, so Jumbo Harris. When he passed away, he left a bit of money in his will, and he said to his people, go have one hell of a party. A lot of the old boys like Piet Visagie and others were here as well. The ashes of Jumbo Harris was also scattered here on the field. Most of that 1970 Griquas rugby team who won the Currie Cup against Northern Transvaal, they played for Ammosal. Oh, and here's the players' dressing room. I can already smell the deep heat, smell the tiger balm. Ammosal would come out of here, and that's the view that they would get. And just above the dressing room here, this is where Colonel Jumbo Harris, he would sit here and he would watch the game. And apparently he got so nervous that instead of smoking his cigarette, he would start eating them during a game. One of Jumbo Harris's mottos was, you work hard and you play hard. People work hard over there, and then they come here and they play hard on the rugby field. You can see just how close this field is to the production plant over there. And you can see the red pavilion. The pavilion is red because of all the iron ore and the dust. And Ammosal also used to play in white jerseys. So after the match, the white jerseys would have a tint of red because of the iron ore. This used to be the corporate side, where the corporates would come. Look at this corporate box, for example, here. This particular company, they had access to electricity and yes, open air. They could probably have some barbecues or braais, bit of a picnic while watching the games. That would have been an experience back in the day. But yes, obviously a bit of corporate influence here, I guess to get a bit of money for the club as well. And here we are at Ammosal Recreation Club. This is definitely mine country. Look at the pictures below there. We work hard and we play hard. And this is a view you get from the bar area. Look at this. Probably one of the longest bar counters in the world. You can see there it snakes all the way. Down there, goes from there. If you know anything about the length of bar counters, let me know in the comments. I reckon this one stands a good chance for a Guinness World Record. This is a classic photo. You can see there the legendary Piet Visagie fly-off of the Springboks, and Sid Going, a legendary scrum-half of the All Blacks. Piet Visagie, of course, the most famous rugby player from this rugby club. That's Jochie Viljoen, also a Springbok scrum-half, passing to the Springbok fly-off, Piet Visagie, both here at Ammosal. So a small mining town in the Northern Cape, producing the halfback pairing there for the Springboks. Here's Piet Visagie and Piet van Deventer. So Piet Visagie there, Piet van Deventer also of Ammosal. It was that controversial tour to England with all the protests. There's Crick Erasmus, Crick. I actually used to work for him here on the mine. Look at that. Griquas against the British Lions rugby touring team 1980. Several Ammosal legends also played for that team. And one who played against the All Blacks in 1976. That Griquas side also had several Ammosal players. You can see there Jimmy Young. Also another legend of a club, Jimmy Young, Jimmy Young. But you can see there he looks a bit dejected because he got sent off after punching the All Black captain, Andy Leslie. Famous photo here in Ammosal. And here's another photo of the iconic 1970 Griquas rugby team who won the Currie Cup. Just look at that beautiful trophy there. How special. That's a replica of a 1970 Griquas Currie Cup winning side with all the photos of the players on the side and also the signatures. Oh, as a Griquas rugby fan, this is absolutely precious. Look at that. The Currie Cup champion team of 1970. You had the Heinemann Trophy 1994. And you have a Vodacom Cup champions 2005. Yes, I'm a Griqua fan, and yes, I know we are small fry. We're not a very good team, but we're a proud team with a lot of history. And walking here at the Ammosal Rugby Club, it's such a special experience again after all these years. There's Piet Visagie, the legendary fly-off. And how special is that? Actually, all Ammosal's Springboks underneath the Springbok head there. You got Piet Visagie, you have Piet van Deventer, you have Jochie Viljoen, and John Royland, honorary member. And in the corner there, you have Piet's brother, Gawie Visagie. Gawie later played for Natal and the Springboks. And another Springbok here, Dick Lockyer. I don't think he played for the club, but I know that he worked here on the mine. Ah, there you go, the old secret code here in the rugby club. And do you know what the secret code there means? For being so inquisitive, you owe this recreational club half a crown. Listed there. This seat is still reserved for Colonel Jumbo Harris. Jumbo's old seat. So don't sit there because Jumbo will be sitting there. Yes, just behind the counter here. More memorabilia listed here. But here you get a nice view of the rest of the club. Some of the different Ammosal jerseys as well, what they look like over the years. More jerseys of Piet Visagie. You can see South Africa Barbarians. There's a Springbok jersey and there's a Springbok blazer. Yes, you have some international jerseys here, but you also have Klerksdorp Rugby Club and the Shimlers from Bloemfontein. And the Kudus, the Griqua B team. And you got Griquas themselves over there. And more jerseys there, Scotland, Darnie Craven 15, SA Barbarians. Yeah, Southeastern Transvaal, the old Orange Free State. Oh, vintage, the old 1964 Ammosal blazer. Yeah, rugby, we've never played it with such a big ball, but this used to be pretty standard back in the day. Yeah, the old Ammosal club, in my view, is probably one of the most underrated rugby clubs that ever existed. Such a proud rugby culture. Maybe I'm biased. This clubhouse, there's so many memories here. You can almost still smell the beer here on the bar counter. Check that out, that is my old mine driver's license. I would often frequent this club as a youngster, having a few drinks with the people here. And I have a proud family history here as well. So many of my uncles and my aunts, they've worked for the mine over so many years. Many of them are no longer with us, but they would also be very proud of this rugby club and the fact that they still kept it. Even though a rugby club doesn't exist anymore, they've kept the clubhouse, and I'm very glad they did. Yes, it's incredible to think. Just look at all the club badges there, all the sports of the Ammosal Club. Such a small town, but they catered for almost every sport there. You can see golf, bowling, you have cricket, you've got the netball, tennis, and I believe the bowling is the only one that still exists today. But what a proud heritage, lots of history here. And you can see a lot of international flags here. That symbolizes the fact that the mine has a lot of international customers. I've got an international footprint, so to speak. Welcome back to the farm, close to Deben. I hope you enjoyed that trip to Beeshoek and all the Ammosal memories that I shared. If you haven't done it yet, guys, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Yes, I'm gonna have a bit of a spin here on the Kalahari Ferrari on the farm. And there's Tom, my driver. Hallo Tom. Hoe gaan het man? Lekker. Jy sê gaan vir my 'n bietjie rondwys. Ja. Maar ook klim hierso. Ja. Daar's hy. Ja, dankie jou Tom, waardeer dit man. Daar's hy.
Dankie. Kyk.
Hoe lank ry jy nou al die donkiekar?
Ja, seker 35 jaar.
35 jaar, so 35 years. Tom has driven this donkey cart for 35 years. An essential form of transport here in the Kalahari. And yeah, relatively nice room space here for the legs. And there we go, the donkeys showing the way. More of a beautiful landscape. This is a quintessential Kalahari experience. The donkey cart, the donkey car, taking us places. Wat is die donkie se name?
Hier nou, Reiter.
Ruiter?
Ja, daar is het gouden mee. Dat is een gouden.
Goue.
Gouden, ja.
Okay. Hoe oud is die donkies?
Ik denk hier, we gaan op 3 jaar.
3 jaar oud? Yes, 3 years old.
6 jaar.
And goue, the golden one here is 6 years.
Okay.
So 3 years and 6 years respectively, the ages. Hey Tom, so hoe ver ry 'n mens met hierdie donkiekar gewoonlik? Kan jy met hom Dibeng toe en ja, ander plekke? Ja, miskien Kathu. Bietjie ver.
Dat is een beetje ver.
Okay, so Kathu's bietjie ver. So Tom here says that you can ride this donkey car to places like Deben. The donkey car is not suited to travel to places such as Kathu, which is about 30 odd kilometers away. Deben, on the other hand, only 10 kilometers away. And yes, this could do it. Wat is lekkerder, Tom? Donkey car of ander kar? Gewone kar?
Perka.
Perrekar is beter. Hè?
Ja.
Hoe gereeld ry jy met die donkey kar? So op 'n weeklikse basis?
Zeg maar zo 2 keer.
2 keer 'n week. En hulle ken ook al die pad hierso, nee, die twee.
Ja, dat kunnen.
They know the road. You can see the donkeys here are separated from each other with this metal rod. There are loads of ropes and chains and belts keeping them secure as well. Ja, maar goed Tom, ek wil net vir jou baie dankie sê.
Alright.
Dit was nou 'n groot voorreg en thanks to you too as well. Baie dankie julle. Veilig ry jou Tom.
Okay.
Alles van die beste.
Dankie.
When you visit the Kalahari, you will experience an almost unparalleled sense of serenity and seclusion. There's vast open landscapes that seem to stretch endlessly, and it almost creates a feeling of being in a world untouched by time. Yes, I know we are on a farm, but remember that the Northern Cape is South Africa's biggest province, but it's got by far the lowest population and hence by far the lowest population density. You have a lot of open space in this part of the world. You don't visit the Kalahari to hang out in exciting towns with lots of entertainment, lots of la-di-da shops, lots of fancy restaurants. Yes, you'll have some unique dining experiences like doringdraad, which I showed you, but you're not necessarily going to find all the amenities you find in the cities or urban areas. You come to the Kalahari to experience something very different. It is really a place where time stands still and where you can reflect and think and get a bit of a mental health kick. The Kalahari has certainly been good for my soul, and I bet it will be for yours as well. Nou gaan ons braai. All right everyone, this was a very special vlog for me to produce because it took me on a trip down memory lane here in the Kalahari, here in Deben. The privilege of having parents, grandparents and uncles and aunts who love you, who care for you, who look out for you. I'm a very lucky man in that regard. I don't think that can be understated, that feeling of love that I experienced as a child. And coming here to the farm was always a place where other family members would also come. We would congregate. Working on the mine where my family worked and toiled for so many years also gave me a deeper understanding of their lives and what they went through in their lives. We're a tight-knit family, and the farm made sure that we reconnected even further and even deeper with each other. There were so many great memories here for all of us. The farm gave us a sense of belonging. It was a place where we reconnected as family, where we built even stronger bonds that will last forever. The red sand of this part of the world, it means so much to me. Once you touch the red sand, and not for too long because it will burn your feet in summer, but once you touch it, you will experience a sense of belonging. You will connect with a place that has got so much to offer. I need a glass of water and maybe another layer of SPF. But I hope this vlog gave you a good idea of what to expect in the Kalahari. I hope you enjoyed the tour of Deben and also the farm, our visit to Kathu and the Ammosal Club. If you haven't done it yet, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment for me in the comment section. I'd love to hear from you. For now, I just want to say again, thank you for watching my videos, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers, take it easy.